Hey guys, just listening to my Welcome to My House song because, you know, Gauss is in the house. Not sure if you're ever going to get sick of that joke, but here we are. Guys, here is a great Gauss-Jordan example. It's simple enough that I think all of you could handle it. I'm looking at this problem. I'm seeing a lot of zeros, which makes me happy. I'm seeing a few ones, which makes me happy too. So let's jump right into it. First things first. You always want to start by trying to get a 1 in this top left corner. The only way to get a 1 in the Gauss-Jordan examples is using multiplication or division. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to divide everything in this first row by the number 5 because 5 divided by 5 is going to give me 1. So now I'm going to have a new row 1 and I'm just going to divide these numbers. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 0 divided by 5, 0. 0 divided by 5 again, 0. Negative 25 divided by 5 is negative 5. Cool, so that's my new row 1. I'm just going to copy down my other rows. Beautiful. All right, guys. Now, once I get a 1 in that top left corner, I need to make the other two numbers below that 0. The other two numbers in that column now need to be a 0. So looking at that blue part first, guys, this is the number 2. In order to get a 0 there, I need to add 2 to the number negative 2. Why? Because 2 plus negative 2 is 0. So negative 2 is the number I need to multiply row 1 by. Okay, now let's talk about this. The reason I'm multiplying row 1 is because that's where the 1 in this column is. And then I'm going to add that to row 2. Why row 2? Because that's where I want the 0 to be. And that's going to replace row 2. And why row 2? Because that's where I want the 0. All right, let's do the math. Negative 2 times row 1. I'm just going to go through and multiply this whole row by negative 2. So that is negative 2, 0, 0, and positive 10. Cool. Next, I'm going to write down row 2, which is 2, 1, 0, negative 8. And now I'm going to add these together. Let's see what I get. I get 0, 1, 0, 2. Wow. That's my new row 2. Now I'm not going to rewrite my new row 2 right now. First, I want to get rid of that pink 1 in the third row. I want to turn that into a 0. Okay, so what do I need to add to 1 to get 0? Negative 1. So I'm still going to multiply row 1 because that's where the 1 is. And this time I'm going to add it to row 3 because that's where I want the 0 this time. And it's going to replace row 3 because that's where I want the 0. So negative 1 times row 1 is negative 1, 0, 0, positive 5. I'm going to add that to 1, 0, 4, 11. And I get 0, 0, 4, and 16. This is going to be my new row 3. So now I'm going to rewrite my matrix with my new rows, plural. All right, the only ones that have changed are rows 2 and 3. So row 1 is actually going to stay the same. It's 1, 0, 0, negative 5. And then my row 2 is new. It's the blue highlighted one. So it's 0, 1, 0, 2. And my new row 3 is this one in orange, which is 0, 0, 4, 16. Wow, I'm actually almost done. The next thing I would want to do is get a 1 in this position. Well, there's already a 1 there. And then I would want to clear the rest of the column and get zeros. But there's already zeros there. So I'm done with column 2. Looking at column 3, I need a 1 in this position. I want my 1s to be diagonal, going from the left to the right. Okay? And so let's get this 4 to be a 1. We're going to use division. So I'm just going to divide every single thing in this row by the number 4. And that's actually going to finish the problem for me. So it's 1, 0, 0, negative 5, 0, 1, 0, 2. Dividing everything in the third row by 4. 0 divided by 4 is 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So here we are. Now, normally what I would do next is try to get zeros in the rest of the column, but they're already there. So this was a nice problem. My final answer is x comma y comma z, and it goes in order if you do this right. So it should be negative 5, positive 2, positive 4. And there is a 3 by 3 Gauss-Jordan. It takes practice. So make sure you guys are practicing this over and over. And again, this is an easier example. I would say that this is similar to something on the quiz. Perhaps one extra step would be sufficient, but like for a quiz problem, but overall it's going to be a little bit more basic like this compared to your homework. Hang in there, keep practicing, and if you need more help, come on in.